Welcome to our daily reflection today, uh, actual first week of Lent, February the 22nd, although we celebrate a feast day today, and it is called the Feast of the Chair of St. Peter. So we're celebrating, as we see in the Gospel reading, the authority that Jesus gave to Peter and to the church for the establishment of his kingdom, for the reign of God. And so the feast day today celebrates the authority within the church, the authority conferred on Peter in the gospel. And of course, history witnesses to this, what we call the apostolic succession throughout the ages, from Peter, the first pope, all the way down to Francis today. And as the readings indicate, this authority, of course, is not an earthly authority, which often aims at dominance. Instead, it's an authority of a shepherd, and that's why we have, for the psalm response, Psalm 23, the beautiful, the Lord is my shepherd. And so in the first reading is interesting. It's from the first letter of Peter, and provides a lot of good, solid advice to church leaders about how to exercise their shepherding role, their authority. Things like not under compulsion, but willingly. Not for sordid gain, but eagerly. Not to lord it over those in your charge, but be examples to your flock. Leading by example. Good instincts, of course, are instilled in most animals from birth. Instead, for humans, we depend mostly on learning. And let's face it, there are some bad lessons that we're sometimes being taught as well. And sometimes the good lessons don't take. And so we need help from our shepherds. We need guidance. Psalm 23, of course, reassures us that the Lord is always with us, and he is always shepherding, bringing peace, and with peace, the capability of helping us to deal with all kinds of difficulties within the flock, within the church, and outside of it. Yes, because even within the church, we do have to deal with difficulties with other faith-filled people who do not think and who do not act as we do. It's a fact, okay? And yes, sometimes we are like sheep, leading sheep sometimes as well, okay? And so without the Holy Spirit helping all of us, we could not share this confidence that it is through people the Lord leading us. So Jesus promises us that same shepherding, okay? And he says to Peter, I tell you, you are Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades shall not prevail against it. Now, let's be honest, the apostles, like the rest of us, are flawed and weak, needing to be tended to by the Good Shepherd. So Jesus was ready to build up his church with these people, simple, ordinary people who made a confession of faith in him. That's the important thing about the gospel, the confession of Jesus. Who do you say that I am? And so this confession of faith tends to fan the flame into a fire, possessing the Spirit of Jesus. Jesus doesn't promise that his church will have no difficulties, no problems. He only promises that he will be with his church, that the church will prevail. His people will prevail. Yeah, these are difficult times, made more difficult certainly by the challenges of this pandemic, okay? And like all times, our situations aren't unique. The church still has to face challenges. So we need to cling to Jesus, the Good Shepherd, and to Francis, our chief shepherd, in the church. And how do we do that? By listening, supporting, and praying for him, as well as for one another. After all, each of us has our own little flocks to be tended. In other words, we lead also by example the people that God has put into our lives. Good luck shepherding today.